What's up everyone, welcome back. So 9 months ago I had shared a video of this Aguides Christmas which was drying up in between, and I had told you that this is the cause of underwatering. When the succulent is underwatered or when it's not getting that proper watering, a lot of times succulents will start to dry up the leaves. Now again, it depends from succulent to succulent and the kind of environment that you are in. Plus, because my Aguides are in full direct sunlight, morning direct sunlight, so the dehydration process is much faster as compared to some other succulents. Now because my Aguides was in direct sunlight, so it started to dry up much faster, but it did not have that regular drying process, which means that only the lower leaves were drying up. But in this case, the leaves in between were also starting to dry up. And then what I did is I went ahead and started watering it because I had completely forgot to water it. So as soon as I noticed it, I started giving it the care that it would need. So as soon as I noticed it, I started giving the care that was needed, because whenever you see something like this, never ignore it, especially when the leaves are drying up in between. Because if you're going to leave it as it is, then the entire succulent can collapse, because then the next stage will be dry rot. So you have to be extremely careful. So what I did is I kept it in the same place where it was receiving a good amount of morning direct sunlight. And then I started to water it as and when the soil used to dry. And now you can see after 9 months, I moved the succulent into this arrangement, and now you can see the succulent is doing absolutely fantastic. Now there are no dry leaves. Of course, there are some scars that were left back when the issues had started, but now all the new leaves have started to grow. There is no drying in between, and the succulent is looking absolutely fantastic. I think I had watered it 2 or 3 days back. That's why you can see the lowest leaves are also nice, plump and stiff, which indicates that the succulent is extremely hydrated. And it's also putting one flower. There is another flower coming up, but the main issue is this culprit over here. You can see that this is the reason why I don't keep any of the bloom stalks. So I'm just going to pinch it off, and we don't want that bloom. I'll wait for this one also to grow a little bit longer. Once I find the stalk, I'm just going to pinch it off. So in this way, there won't be any mealybug attack. Secondly, the plant can conserve that energy for itself, because flowers are of no use for me. So the succulent is doing absolutely fantastic. I gave her some company with some myrians and a string of buttons, which are also doing fantastic. So the arrangement is looking beautiful now, because the winters have started to come in. So you can see the stress colors are slowly showing up. It is going to turn even more red, not completely red. It is going to have a good amount of green on it, but the tips or around the tips is going to turn completely red in color. So I'm waiting for that to happen. The colors are slowly, the anthocyanin pigments are slowly starting to kick in, and I'm very excited. But the best part is that the succulent has revived. I'm okay with the scars. I don't have any issues because eventually those leaves will get covered up as and when the succulent puts out a lot of new growth. And you can also see the size has also increased. Let me compare the image, because even this is something that I'll be able to see. So you can see the comparison. The succulent was quite weak at that point of time, like 9 months back. It was quite weak. I did not have a nice full shape because the leaves were getting dried up. The succulent was pulling up energy and moisture from the leaves in between, so the structure was also getting damaged. And now that we have started to water it, offer a good amount of light, you can see it looks very fuller, and plus it went through a growing period, so that's why the succulent looks a little bit fuller. But now maybe during winters it might slow down the growth, but again I'm not very sure, because in my city even echeverias tend to bloom during the winter season because they are not much affected with the winters, so they put out growth even during the winter season. So I'm very excited. I will see how the colors show up once we enter the month of December, because by the end of Jan we are almost into summer. The winters are very short in my city, but when they are quite cold, they are quite cooler, and then by the end of Jan it starts getting warm, so they will be back again into their full growing period. So I'm very happy. I love echeverias because they look absolutely stunning. The shape, the structure, the color, You know, if you give that proper attention to them, they look absolutely stunning. So yes, even a weak struggling succulent can bounce back if you give the basic care and you provide whatever it needs. They have very minimum needs, but those minimum needs, if they are fulfilled, you can see the results. So I'm very happy. I have a lot more of haworthias that are doing quite well. As and when we proceed, I will definitely start sharing more of the videos. The ants are going to stay on the succulent for some time because I've just nipped the bloom. So they are going to stay on the succulent for some time, trying to find where those mealybugs have gone, but eventually they will leave the succulent. They're still trying to figure out where did the bloom go, but maybe they might get onto this because there are little bit of mealybugs on this, but I'll have to wait, because now if I try to break it, it's going to be difficult because it's quite small. The stalk is not visible yet. If I try to break it, I might damage the leaf, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.